Om. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. On Thursday nights, a large group of us are studying the Yaksha Prashna. In English, a dialogue with Dharma. A question that we came across recently, it is question 18. Kim ekam yagniyam yajuhu. In English, what is the essential yajuhu for a yajna? And the answer, mana, the mind. Putting this together more clearly, in a yajna, in a traditional one, an altar is needed. Sometimes this is made of mud or bricks. In the Yaksha Prashna, in a dialogue with Dharma, the altar is one's mind. What a beautiful and powerful thought that one's own altar is one's own mind. And Pujya Tejo Mayananda shared this in a very succinct way, which is mind your mind and mind your own business. Now that keyword "and," I feel that if you mind your mind, you will naturally mind your own business. Now this sounds very poetic. What does this actually play out like? Someone who's minding their mind, they become more accepting. And mind your own business, they become less angry. So this one simple answer about manaha, when this is reflected upon, see how this all opens up to being more accepting, being less angry. This is what we're trying to do in Meaningful Mornings. So as we complete 1100 days, as we complete 17 chapters, for you to reflect on, are you becoming more accepting? Are you becoming less angry? We have come across this statement, as you think, so you are, many times. In this chapter, the saying is, as your faith, so you are. As your faith, so you are. I'm trying not to multitask, but I'm parenting and teaching at the same time. I think it's unique. Have you ever had to parent two young boys and teach Advaita Vedanta at the same time? It's a very unique experience. I don't know if I can relate to many people in this challenge. So, as you think, so you become. As your faith, so you are. And that's why we've used the word likeness. Chapter 17 is about likeness. In verse 11, Shri Krishna is talking about likeness and how it plays out through yajna or dedication. In verse 11, one's dedication is to presence. It is the highest dedication. In verse 12, this becomes not lots of faith, but less faith, less likeness. And so one's dedication is facilitated through purpose. Purpose, it's less about the presence and more about me. And that's why I commented a lot yesterday about sattvic ego. And in verse 13, from lots of faith to less faith to little faith, little likeness. They're like someone who's little or small-hearted. Their dedication is for people. Not presence, not purpose, but people, particularly their own people, which I've described as our family. For many, this is their purpose, this is their presence. When everyone in your family came into your life at a time, and they're going to leave your life at a time, what's more than this is a purpose. Purpose outlives people. Even more than that is presence, which is beyond time. In the 13th verse, zooming into this more, Shri Krishna shares that for someone who has little faith and they're as if engaged in dedication, there are no rules, there is no food, there is no phrases, there is no charity. All of this is stated in the first line. And this is because of a lack of faith. This lack of faith is where there's no quietude, there's no lightness. This is tamas. Tamas is not quietness, but laziness. Not lightness, but darkness. And I had mentioned yesterday that when one doesn't give, it's because they're not growing. Because right now I'm teaching, that's why.
But I just need to.
So when one is not giving, it's because they're not growing, and vice versa. If one is not growing, there's a high chance that they're not giving. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Raja Parikshita's child, his name is Janamejaya. He was angry that his father had died. His father was killed. And so a guide there, Rishi Brihaspati, started to share insights about death with him. And one of the insights that he had shared was this anger towards death or fear towards death is because one is possessive. Lots of possessions that they possess, and so they start to feel that the body is a possession too. And they're being possessive about this, which is why they fear aging and dying. And so Rishi Brihaspati is trying to teach Janamejaya to be less possessive. Because then you'll start to feel that this too is not your possession. It is a possession that you are lent. And if it's lent, it's going to be taken back too. Shri Krishna continues into a very comprehensive and beautiful verse. He's shifting from a classification of yajna, now that's done, into tapa. If we're trying to understand dedication, we also have to understand sacrifice. This is a verse worth memorizing. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. joy. In the fourth quarter, uchyate, what is being taught now is tapa. Tapa means to burn. The literal meaning of tapa is to burn. The philosophical meaning is to burn one's comfort zone. We've also shared this in a different way. Tapa is to conserve. The sequence was tapa, yajna, dana, which is conserve, then channel, and then create. Pujaswami Chinmayananda describes tapa as self-control. So what is being taught is tapa in regards to sharira, that is the body. But specifically what the body does, which is action. Okay? This is the syllabus for this verse. Now this syllabus gets opened up. One's actions are oriented towards Deva, the semi-gods. Dvija is those who are initiated. Guru, that's one's guide. And prajna is those who are wise. Is there a difference between these four? What is being shared here is from far to close. The semi-gods are far away. Where do they live? In heaven. Closer than that is Dvija, those who are initiated. We tend to treat them as those who are priestly, scholarly. The closer than that is Guru, one's guide. And for one who has such a relationship, prajna means those who are wise. What does a guide teach us? How to learn from everyone. And that's why we share after Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. That's what a guide teaches one. A guide teaches one. A guide teaches one to learn from all. So beautiful. What else is one's actions flowing towards? Pujanam. I feel we have some really incomplete thoughts towards puja. In a puja, there are 3 factors. I only have time to share 2 of them right now. You are the pujaka. Sharing this differently, you are the student. And the other factor is puja, whom you are worshiping. A puja is when the student becomes like or fully becomes what they're worshiping. So now you think, when you're in a puja, when you're offering puja, do you become what you're worshiping? And you're saying yes, but does your lifestyle express that? And if not, recheck what your understanding and facilitating of puja is. Shaucham. Shaucham means being organized. Pujaswami Chinmayananda writes very practically, one's organization should be of all spaces. And I've mentioned to all of you, wherever you engage in puja or contemplation, it should be CSI. What does CSI stand for in the chat? Please don't say crime scene investigation. Please don't say crime scene investigation. Yes, clean, simple, and inspiring. Clean, simple, and inspiring. Then also, Arjava. Like Arjuna, we have come across this value many times. Arjava means simplicity. Yesterday, I had facilitated a workshop for caregivers on how to feel less tired. Caregivers just feel tired. Then they feel frustrated and dejected. They burn out. One way to feel less tired is simplicity. And what I mean by that is the mind's propensity is to interpret. Why did they say this? Why didn't they do this? And so on. But if you're practicing simplicity, you're conserving the mental power you have, and then it becomes more natural just to let things go. That's what Arjava is. Being able to just let things go. You're not the teacher of the world. You're not the manager of the road. Everyone doesn't know how to drive other than you. Third quarter, again, this is all bodily burning, or it is one who is engaged in burning their comfort zone at a physical level. Brahmacharya. In English, this means direction. You are directed towards infinity. And so put very simply, it's disciplined. One is disciplined. And ahimsa, which means non-harming, shared in a positive sense, sensitivity. This verse and the forthcoming ones are super practical about how we can change our likeness. If your actions are flowing in this way, you will go from little faith to less faith to lots of faith. As your faith, so are you. I have more to share on this verse, and the next verse is about speaking. So many times I've told you details of the next verse. What does tapa look like? Not at an action level, but at a verbal level. There's deeds, and there's words. So all of the people in your family that are mean to you, you invite them tomorrow. Shri Krishna will correct them. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to be super dedicated today. To prepare for that, how many of you thought about how you're going to be super dedicated today? By show of hands. Good. Here's my reflection. We are engaged in dharma, our responsibilities. And we need Bhagwan or divinity, but it just seems like we're moving so slow, or we're taking steps back and so on. I have found that the game changer, or the catalyst, or the rocket fuel is bhakti. To start loving what you do, start loving who you are. And bhakti in English means devotion or dedication. Dharma is supposed to lead to Bhagwan, but for many, that's not working out. So dharma plus bhakti equals Bhagwan. Your application for this morning is for you to live Bhagavad Gita's chapter 17, verse 14. It's about the body and actions, so live this. See how today turns out for you. I assure you, you will have more faith. Shanti, 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 be joy.